911, what's your emergency?
My granddaughter has disappeared.
Weeks after her disappearance, the family made a string of media appearances.
Greg and Melissa Baker's 9-year-old daughter has been missing for over 2 weeks.
Years went by without any answers. Then a break. Christian Gabriel confessed to Kettering police that he hit Erica with his van and drove off with her body.
You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest podcast in the world, True Crime Monkey! Thank you to all the listeners out there tuning in to the new True Crime Monkey podcast. As you may know, we are dropping 4 podcast episodes today as part of launch day. Make sure to check out the other episodes on Maura Murray, Nikki McCowan, and Cheryl Coker as well. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons and ring that bell for notifications to be alerted when we drop new episodes. The episode you're about to hear is about the disappearance of Erica Baker. Erica disappeared from Kettering, Ohio, a suburb of Dayton, Ohio, located about 50 miles north of Cincinnati, on a rainy Sunday afternoon, February 7, 1999, while walking her dog near the Kettering Rec Center. A man would later be convicted in 2005 for hitting Erica with his van, but her body has never been found.
Convicted in 2005 of tampering with evidence and gross abuse of a corpse, he served 6 years in prison. Aside from his initial confession, he's been tight-lipped and won't say what happened to Erica's body.
Erica Nicole Baker was born on June 22, 1989, and she was 3 feet 11 inches tall and weighed 65 pounds at the time of her disappearance. Erica Baker's parents, Greg Baker and Misty Baker, were divorced at the time, and Erica stayed primarily with her mother. On February 7th, around 3:30 p.m., Erica asked her mother if she could take her dog, a Shih Tzu named Jamie, for a walk. Her mother initially said no because it was raining and she didn't want Erica to catch a cold. But Erica persisted and promised to wear a raincoat over her Winnie the Pooh sweater. Her mother has since regretted that decision and hasn't seen her daughter since. When Erica had not returned home after a reasonable amount of time, her mother began to worry and began to search for Erica. Her anxiety level would only increase when shortly after she began searching, Erica's dog Jamie was found walking in the streets with his leash still attached. Police were then called and the official search began. The search lasted through the night and continued into the following days.
It's a nightmare. You know, at first, you know, it's surreal. You don't believe it's actually happening. Once that, nightfall becomes day, again, and your child is not home, that's when it really hits home. And that's when you really start to panic.
Authorities even drained a 2.9 million gallon retention pond at the Kettering Rec Center in hopes of finding Erica. In a strange twist of fate, I was actually at the Kettering Rec Center that same night. I was playing in a basketball league there, and we had a game scheduled that evening. As I drove up to the complex, I could see a ton of police cars and a few ambulances as well. It seemed to be that they were focusing on the pond there at the rec center, as it was well lit with the emergency lighting. I would not find out the reason for all the lights and police until the next day. The story of the missing girl dominated the news. The next day, on Monday, details of what had happened the previous day became more public. Erica and her 3 older brothers had been spending time over the weekend with their father, Greg. Early Sunday afternoon, Greg had dropped the kids back off at the home of their grandmother, Pat Smith, where Misty Baker, their mother, and the kids were all currently living. According to Erica's father, Greg, Erica was still a bit disappointed when he dropped his daughter off, due to the fact that Erica had wanted to attend a father-daughter dance on that same Sunday that she would go missing, but Greg was unable to get tickets due to the event already being sold out. He actually placed his name on a waiting list, just in case other tickets became available or if someone canceled, but that didn't happen. Sunday, February 7th, 1999 was an unusually warm day for that time of year, and there was a light rain or mist in the area. Nonetheless, Erica left around 3:30 p.m. to go on a walk with her dog. At about 4:05 p.m., Erica's dog is found with his leash still attached near a house on Glengarry Drive. After an unsuccessful search for Erica by family members, Misty Baker calls Kettering police, who were immediately on scene. They actually arrived while Misty Baker was still on the phone with 911. The search continued through the night and the following days, but there was no sign of Erica, nor any clues to what might have happened. 5 months would pass with no progress on the case, no arrests, and no suspects. But that would all change in July of 1999. A name would emerge as a person of interest in the case: Christian Gabriel. Detectives were prepared to talk to a man who was in prison for a low-level crime that claimed he saw Erica's case on America's Most Wanted that had aired in June of 1999 and said that he had information about the case. That man was Clifford Butts. Clifford claimed that Erica Baker's disappearance actually started at a Meijer grocery store about a mile from the Kettering Rec Center where Erica was walking her dog. Clifford Butts claims that he and his girlfriend Sabrina were helping a friend, Christian Gabriel, fix his old utility van which had allegedly broke down in the Meijer parking lot. According to Butts, he was able to get to the Meijer grocery store in another vehicle and meet Gabriel there in the parking lot and fix Gabriel's van, at least to get it running again. It is important to note that the foursome, Christian Gabriel, Jan Franks, Clifford Butts, and his girlfriend, were all drug users and smoked crack cocaine. After allegedly fixing the van, the foursome split into two groups and entered the Meijer store with the intent of shoplifting, then selling the merchandise to acquire money to buy crack. The plan was then to meet up later at an apartment in Dayton, Ohio, where they would smoke crack. Butts claimed that he and his girlfriend did just that, and that sometime later, Christian Gabriel and Jan Franks showed up at the apartment. Jan Franks then went into the apartment and told Clifford to go downstairs to the van and talk to Christian. Clifford claims that it was at this time that Christian Gabriel told him what had happened with a little girl, later to be known as Erica Baker. It is important to keep in mind that the person giving this information is a prisoner, a criminal, and a crack cocaine user, so his statement may be less than truthful, to say the least. In 1999, Christian Gabriel was interviewed by the police. He claimed he had no knowledge of what had happened to Erica Baker, and he only knew of her story from the posters that had been placed up in the Dayton and surrounding areas. Gabriel even sold his van less than 3 weeks after the Erica Baker incident to a man named Kevin Smith. The van was subsequently impounded by the Dayton Police Department, and in July of that same year was taken to the Miami Valley Regional Crime Laboratory and later stored in the back of a police impound facility where it still remains today. Police continued to believe nothing that Gabriel was telling them. However, he did agree to take a polygraph test, which he failed miserably.
Do you know for sure who killed Erica Baker? Did you kill Erica Baker? Can you take me to Erica Baker's body? No. Mr. Gabriel, do you know exactly why you're here? I'm just trying to say that I hit that little girl. Well, the only way I know her is from the posters.
But remember, polygraph tests are not admissible in a court of law. Christian Gabriel remained a free man, at least for now. Almost 5 years would pass, and later, in 2004, detectives began to ramp up the pressure on and around Christian Gabriel. They again questioned him, his friends, his parents, and his new girlfriend, with whom he now had a 2-year-old son. With all the pressure surrounding him, Christian Gabriel started smoking crack again. Not being able to fund his habit, he returned to his old ways of theft and selling or pawning the merchandise for money. He even stole from his own family, including his son's toys and his uncle's tools. Police in Clark County, Ohio, would soon be on Gabriel's trail, and he was arrested for receiving stolen property. Gabriel pleaded guilty and was sent back to prison. And this is when Christian Gabriel's story begins to change, in a big way. While in jail on his newest charges, investigators visit Christian Gabriel. Gabriel now admits that he was there when Erica Baker was hit by his van. He now claims that they, Clifford, Sabrina, Jan, and himself, left the Meyer grocery store and were driving down the street and someone got hit. When asked who was driving, Gabriel states, "Jan was driving, my dead girlfriend," and then he chuckles, which at least in my opinion is his attempt to say, well, she's dead, so you can't prove it wasn't her, an attempt to absolve himself of the guilt of being the one who actually hit Erica. Gabriel continues to stick to his story that he was sitting in the passenger seat and that Jan Franks was driving, and that Clifford Butts and Sabrina were in the back of the van when Erica Baker was hit. Gabriel would claim that the foursome later took Erica's body to Huffman Dam, located near Dayton and near where the Wright brothers tested their new invention, the airplane, to dispose of the body. Gabriel would claim that he remained in the van. He claims that he was sick and puking that night from doing drugs and being drunk, while the other three would go into the nearby woods, bury the body, and return about 30 minutes later. While Gabriel could not pinpoint the exact location where a burial actually took place, he showed investigators where the trio entered the woods and disappeared. The following is from the actual trip to Huffman Dam with the detectives and Christian Gabriel. I apologize for the background noise.
So they parked the van right there.
Okay.
They parked it in the parking lot here?
Right here.
Parking place? And you say they were gone, this could have been 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
No,
What do you think?
more than that.
Now, as they walked across this path, you've seen them, right, walking?
Yeah, I saw them walking and then they just did.
Who's got the baby? You were talking about an island?
Yeah.
What makes you think it was the island? Did he tell you that it was the island?
No, just from the way they went, I mean, how else could you hear crawl?
I don't know if you know of one.
I used to know of one. I know a guy that I can get a hold of that knows a lot of. Any idea?
This is that goose chase I was telling you not to put us on, man.
I'm not putting you on no goose chase. This is where they came. I told you I was drunk and puking that night.
Well, but I know a situation that you were in would have sobered a man up real quick. It would have scared the life out of me, and I'm sure it scared the life out of you.
Oh yeah, it still does. Yeah, I've been telling you what I've been telling you all day.
And you're going to stick with that, knowing what we just told you is true.
This is just a trap.
What?
This is just a trap.
This was a trap?
Yeah.
Why? No one's trapping you.
What's a trap?
What's the trap? You're leaving. There is no trap here.
We just want to find that girl.
Man, I know you do. I'm
And we
trying
want to
all
validate your story.
And I'm trying everything I can to help you. And like I said, I was trashed that night, man. I was
No
wrong.
one's doubting that. No
You'd
one's
have to
doubting.
be, to what all transpired, you'd have to be trashed. But what's Shannon know?
Well, she didn't know nothing about it till the detectives came that, what, a couple months ago? She didn't know nothing about it.
Who'd you talk to? Who'd you talk to about it?
I haven't talked to no one about it. My mom.
You had to talk to somebody.
I've talked to my dad.
You've talked to them about it, about being there.
No, not about being there, about what's going on.
Okay, right.
I mean,
Who have you told
Who have you talked to about being there?
No one.
Being in charge of it, or being in the middle of it?
No one. Not in charge of it.
In 5 years, you have talked to nobody.
I haven't talked to anyone. I mean, shoot, I figured in 5 years they'd find the real person that did it.
Which was who? Yeah. I mean, you was there, you know who did it.
Yeah, who was driving? Who did I say was driving? And she's dead. Don't help me out none.
Well, no, and that's, you got to help yourself out. You're absolutely right.
Well, that's kind of hard when she's dead and everybody's pointing their fingers at me.
Yeah. Well,
we're looking at Charlie and what's her name?
Clifford and Sabrina.
Sabrina. Clifford. I keep wanting to call him Charlie. Clifford. And it's like I talked about earlier with you. What's Clifford and Sabrina going to say?
Hey, can I say something? Is my van totaled?
Is it totaled?
Yeah, I mean, does it look like it's been in an accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
Front end damage.
Is there a date on when that happened, do you know?
I think it was the 13th of February. Why?
No, it was just someone else that I sold my van to him. I'm just wondering.
Didn't change the title over or anything?
No. We just traded cars.
Why'd you take the carpet out then?
Why'd you take the carpet out? There ain't no carpet in it?
No.
Well, there was. I put all new carpet in it. Is there any cabinets or anything in it? Because see, when I traded the van to him, it was hollow. There was nothing in it. And he put like a couch and a table and shit in it like that. Kevin Smith, I don't know.
Yeah, you told me that name before. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm trying to remember the night I let him use my van.
What makes a difference?
Well, it definitely wasn't the 7th because we've got the pictures of your van being in
Myers. Yeah, that's what I was telling them.
So it wasn't the 7th.
What time was that?
The photographs, when the photographs were taken, it was still daylight. I'm not sure.
Time.
Yeah, I think I suppose it was still daylight when we were at Myers.
The only thing that Cliff started the mess, and now he's lost credibility. But if he comes out, points to the body, and says Christian put it here, he regains credibility.
Right.
And
I know what you guys are saying.
Okay, so don't think that it's a trap. It's not.
I mean,
we're being straight up with you.
We'll be, and they'll be straight up with Clifford too. You know that. And they'll give Clifford.
But who brought my name up in it in the first place? Was it Clifford?
Yep.
See, I only met him one time, man.
Yeah, but you guys were partying for about a 5-day stretch.
No, maybe about 2, because he stole a car from Myers. And he was on a high-speed chase through Dayton, and he wrecked it on a bridge, and they went to jail.
Him and Sabrina both got arrested that day.
Sabrina came back to my apartment and stayed a few days.
After she got out of jail?
Yep.
Right. He stayed in jail.
Because, yeah, I met him when I was locked up at the Dayton workhouse.
Right. But you guys were partying. I mean, even Clifford, Jan, and Sabrina said you guys were partying together for about 5 days.
Well, maybe it was. I don't remember it being that long, but it might have been. I mean, figure staying up nights on end.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt. I mean, we're partying.
I mean...
But you understand, the whole thing about we're saying about it being an accessory. It's going to carry the same weight.
Whether you carried that child or not.
It doesn't matter. It's who's going to put it on who, basically.
Right.
And who's going to be believable.
Well, it's 2 against 1.
Sabrina doesn't have anything to do with Clifford.
My ex is dead. Oh, her and Clifford ain't together no more?
No. She's remarried.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You and Sabrina have the most to lose because you have kids and you care about your kids. Clifford doesn't care about his kids.
Well, I don't think Clifford cares about anything, really.
Like Clifford. And with that being said, what's important is that you take care of yourself. You take care of yourself by helping us.
Right. I said, I'm doing what I can. I mean, this is where she drove to. They disappeared in the woods.
Now, just, do you believe us when we tell you about, looking credible and being believable?
Mm-hmm.
You understand that?
Yeah.
You understand what we explained to you about the charge being what it is?
That would hurt my back so bad.
depending on, it doesn't matter what action or role you play. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All you guys won't catch the same thing.
Right.
Guess who's gonna get the best seat?
Okay, well, let me ask you something. Okay, first off, you said it was your van that you went riding because you were drunk.
Right.
Okay, we'll take you through everything. You were going to say that you said one time before that we got to take this kid to the hospital.
I said it a couple times.
Well, one time before you got the apartment, you thought. And then 2 or 3 times inside the apartment, you said it.
Yeah.
And then you said that when you left the apartment to get in the van, you thought you were going to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's what you said. And you said you got here and found out what they were going to do, and you're saying that you had no part of it.
No, I stayed in the van. I said I was drunk off my ass.
No part of it.
No, I didn't.
So you were a good Samaritan, right?
I mean, no, I should have stopped it.
All I'm saying is yes, you should have stopped it. You didn't stop it, you feared for your safety, then you should have reported it later.
Well, yeah,
And
you
didn't.
fear for your safety when someone pulls a gun on you and stuff and all that and be threatened to kill.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
shoot.
but
I mean, if
again,
anybody know Doug White? Lives in Dayton?
That's your life, not mine.
Yeah.
That's not my life. That's the life you live. Okay? Now, all that aside.
Yep, it's all past.
And you're going to take what comes forward. But what I'm asking is, this is it. And I told you before, man, I'm busting my tail trying to make you come out of this good.
I know you are.
The gears are going to change, and they're going to go find Cliff. What he's saying is true.
Man, I wish they would go find him.
Well, maybe you
Get
do.
this shit done and over with.
This turned out to be what lead detective at the time, Bob Green, called a waste of time. Sometime after this excursion, Detective Bob Green would get another call from Christian Gabriel while in prison. It was a Friday afternoon, and Gabriel had asked the detective to come meet with him. He wanted to talk about things he could not say over the phone. Detective Green was intrigued, but he couldn't let Gabriel know that. Green told Gabriel he would think about coming to see him. However, Detective Green immediately told prison officials that he would be there first thing Monday morning, but to not let Gabriel know that he would be coming. When Detective Green arrived, Gabriel was still sticking to the story that Jan Franks was driving and that he was merely a passenger. However, between this time and the time of their last meeting, Detective Green had learned that Jan Franks could not drive a standard shift vehicle, and Gabriel's van was a standard shift vehicle. Green told Gabriel he was lying to him and said he was going to leave. Gabriel then admitted that he was, in fact, driving the van when Erica was hit. Gabriel then asked Detective Green if he could go to the restroom. Green responded, "It's your prison. I can't tell you when you can and can't go to the restroom." While Gabriel got up and started making his way to the restroom, he turned back to Detective Green with tears in his eyes and asked, "How much time would I get for tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse, and vehicular homicide?" When he returned to the interview, Gabriel still had tears in his eyes and asked Detective Green the same question again. Detective Green responded, "I have no idea." It's now October 2005, almost a year since Christian Gabriel confessed to being behind the wheel when Erica Baker was hit while walking her dog near the Kettering Rec Center, and 5 years since Gabriel's then girlfriend and potential accomplice Jan Franks died of a drug overdose. Christian Gabriel is indicted just 3 days before the statute of limitations would run out on the crimes involving Erica Baker. The trial soon began and would last only a week. Christian Gabriel did not take the stand in his own defense. 18 different witnesses would testify in the trial. Gabriel was convicted of tampering with evidence and gross abuse of a corpse. Christian Gabriel received the maximum sentence of 6 years in prison. After the verdict was read, Christian Gabriel erupted in the courtroom that he had been railroaded and had to be restrained. Christian Gabriel would later file an appeal of his conviction, but the conviction was upheld. Christian Gabriel would serve out his prison sentence, and on June 23, 2011, just 1 day after what would have been Erica's 22nd birthday, Gabriel was released from prison. When he was released from the Mercer County Jail, Christian Gabriel was seen quickly walking toward and entering the passenger door of an awaiting gray-colored SUV. However, to the shock and disbelief of those present, the driver of that gray SUV was none other than Pam Schmidt, the grandmother of Erica Baker. This event was planned and approved by the Baker family. Unfortunately, Pam Schmidt's conversation with Christian Gabriel did not produce any results. Many of the people working on the case in an official capacity have since retired or moved on to other jobs. However, there was a new lead detective assigned to the case in 2011. His name is Vincent Mason. Many years would pass, but in October 2022, there appeared to be a glimmer of hope. Researchers looking into the case discovered that there were still remaining areas of interest, including a local park not located near Huffman Dam, that had not yet been searched. Searchers, including Texas EquiSearch and many volunteers, went to the area. After some digging near the surface and about 20 minutes into the search, a bone was found. The searchers gave the bone to the Greene County Coroner's Office, but unfortunately, the bone was later confirmed to be that from a dog and was not human. Christian Gabriel has since moved out of state. However, this case is still open, and hopefully one day we will have answers to what happened to Erica Baker.
Do we know the full truth what happened? I don't think so. I think there's more out there that's involved, but we just don't know yet.
Again, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of the True Crime Monkey podcast on the case of Erica Baker. If you have any information on this case, please call Detective Vincent Mason at the Kettering, Ohio Police Department at 937-296-2555.